What's up? What it do, cyber world? It is your girl, the one and only Ash Said It, ashsaidit.com, ashsaidit.com. Welcome to a Thursday, darlings. Yes, it's a beautiful Thursday, this June the 8th, 2017, and I am joined by the fabulously talented Miss Georgia USA 2017, DeAnna Johnson. DeAnna.
Hello, hello.
How are you today?
I am loving it. I love that little accent you're doing there. That's adorable.
I try. You know, something extra. You gotta give them a little something, work off of. So, DeAnna, thank you so much. I know you've got a tight schedule, but I really appreciate you making time for the show and everything. So, DeAnna, let everyone know, where are you from? What city do you represent?
I'm from Hazelhurst, Georgia, and I'm 21 years old. Let's see. And I'm currently Miss Georgia right now. So,
yeah. So, DeAnna, as a child, did you ever dream of becoming Miss Georgia?
I actually did. I loved watching Miss USA. Me and my friends would actually watch that and the Victoria's Secret show every single year. I never thought that I would actually do it. I never was really into pageants growing up, and I just started pageants this year. So, but it definitely was a dream of mine to be on that stage.
Awesome sauce. Awesome. So, wow. So you've never been in a pageant until this year?
Right.
Wow. And you just went ahead and you just snatched up that crown. I love it.
Well, thank you.
I love that. All right. So what interested you in this pageant to begin with?
Well, I just thought it would be an amazing opportunity. And I think with me, especially, I'm from a really, really small town. And after I had the experience I did on The Voice, I kind of just wanted to make sure that while I was young and able to, I wanted to do all the things that I was afraid of doing, just never tried to do. And well, I had the chance to. Once you're married or having kids, you can't do Miss USA anymore. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'm gonna try, and I ended up winning Miss Georgia and getting to compete at Miss USA, and I get to knock that right off my little list of things I want to do.
Absolutely. I salute you. I tip my hat off to you because I've emceed a few pageants in my day, and I know that it is a strenuous process. I know people, onlookers see and they're like, oh, they look fabulous. They look beautiful. They don't see the practices. They don't see, all the requirements that come with it. So share with the audience, what were some of the requirements in order to join the pageant?
Well, you have a interview portion of the pageant. You have a swimsuit and evening gown, and then on-stage question. And, I'm going to be really honest with you. I think the hardest thing about preparing for pageants is what I found is, like, the tendency to be fake. I think it's hard sometimes to stay authentic when you know that your success depends on whether or not these people like you. It's kind of hard to be like, okay, well, am I going to be true to myself, or am I going to say what other people want to hear, or what I think other people want to hear? That was kind of the hardest part with me, and that's real. I think as people all throughout life struggle sometimes being genuine or being what they think other people want them to be.
Yeah. Absolutely. I would say that that's probably one of the biggest portions of it because, like you said, you want to come off as genuine, and I think that there's a lot of pressure. And maybe societal, maybe it could be the committee. There's a lot of pressure in order for you to be, this picture perfect person on the stage. So
absolutely, and it even comes down to like styling. I knew several girls who I saw these girls without makeup on, without weave, without wig, or whatever the case was. And there was a girl who actually competed in Georgia who I thought was just absolutely stunning, like breathtaking. She had this beautiful, natural, big curly hair. And somebody told her that she needed to straighten it and have it in these little pageant tight curls. And I was like, girl, you need to wear that natural hair and go out there, because I thought that she would have killed it that way. But somebody just tells her you have to be something different than what you are, and when you don't.
Yeah. So how are you able to kind of, stay away from those negative thoughts? How are you able to veer away from it?
Well, I think it's still like a constant struggle, of course. But for me, I just have decided because I think a lot of the time what makes you be different from your authentic self is just the pressure of people not liking you. So I think when you decide that it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, I'm just going to be myself, and that sounds so cliche, but when you decide that, I think it's a lot easier because you no longer need those people's approval.
Right.
And you can kind of find that within yourself. So that's how I just continue to reassure myself, like, you're deserving, you're worthy. Have a great time. That's what's most important. It's not about winning, and it's not about placing just right or anything like that. It's just leaving with no regrets, knowing that you put as much work into it as you possibly can, and that you're proud of that.
Absolutely. I love that you said that. And you are so wise beyond your years, be it that you're only 21. I'm glad that you've locked onto that concept early, because a lot of young people today, they just don't get it, and a lot of them will go through different struggles. And I've worked with social services before, and young girls are just, like you said, in the mindset of they're not enough. They got to do this. They got to keep up with this industry. And the fact that you're putting out that positive energy for people in general to see, look, this is me, love it, hate it, whatever. I'm still going to be, that chick. I love that.
And that's the most attractive thing, I think, to me, is when someone says, okay, I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm happy with who I am. That's what to me is being confidently beautiful. Is no longer needing to be told that you're beautiful.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. So what was your exercise routine during the pageant?
Well, this is interesting, because I actually, when I won Georgia, I was a size 10, and when I competed at Miss USA, I was a size 10, and I always loved, my body and my shape, but I got so much heat about that. I think as people assumed that because I was more curvy, that I was either lazy or I was not being healthy, but I exercised once and twice a day and ate really clean, and but I decided early on that I wasn't going to be like emaciated on stage. I didn't feel like I needed to lose 20 to 30 pounds. And, but yeah, I exercised once and twice a day and ate pretty healthy and drank a lot of water and all that good stuff. Yeah,
no, you're doing great. And shame at anyone saying that otherwise. I don't like them if they said that about you. I'm just putting that out there. Shame on them, because you look amazing. You're a natural beauty. You can tell that there's not much that you have to do. For pictures, makeup is necessary, but you're a natural beauty. You're gorgeous. Your curves are phenomenal, and you're motivating the younger generation, because they're going to see you and look to you and be like, oh, wow, DeAnna did it. She's got curves. She's beautiful. You know what? I can do it too. I can do that too. So keep pushing forward. Like I said, anyone to say anything negative about you, you send them my way, and I'll take care of that. We'll take care of that. All right. So, DeAnna, I guess in the process of being in the pageant, what did you want to accomplish with the title?
Oh, of Miss Georgia, or if I had Miss USA?
Miss Georgia.
Yeah. Well, I worked with a childhood sex trafficking center before I was Miss Georgia, and then after. And so I really wanted to push that. It's a huge, huge issue in the United States, especially because 70% of childhood sex trafficking happens online, and the U.S. is the #1 producer of childhood pornography. So it is a huge, huge issue. That's something that I wanted to push, and I also wanted to push body image issues and how we're kind of pushed to think that we have to be a certain size. And it sounds cliche, and you would think that we have, evolved farther along. But I found that, especially a lot of people in pageantry, that the line that I kept hearing was like, you need to be a competition weight. You need to be the best version of yourself. And they equated the healthiest version and the best version of yourself with being the smallest and the thinnest version of yourself. And I just think that all different types of shapes and sizes and ethnicities need to be celebrated, especially when you're talking about a beauty pageant, because you do have so many young girls who are looking to that as an example of what beautiful women are. And if you keep seeing the same type of woman, not that that isn't beautiful, I think, you know, from the thinnest to more curvier women, we need to celebrate all different types. But if no one ever sees their type up there, they begin to think that their type is not beautiful, and that's important for people to see.
Absolutely. So, DeAnna, now, you know, you've got the title, you've got so much experience under your belt. What's next?
I'll crown a new Miss Georgia in November, but we have some events coming up. I'm doing some stuff with Georgia Cares, which is the Childhood Sex Trafficking Center. We're doing a 5K run on July 22nd, so I'm really, really excited about that. We're also going to be on a panel on the same day with DeAnna. She's coming to Atlanta, and we're going to do kind of like a little full panel of girls. Imani's going to be there, who was Miss Georgia last year. Taylor's going to be here, who was Miss Georgia teen this year. So I'm really excited about that. And then I plan on just starting design school in the fall, which I'm very excited about.
Absolutely. Looking forward to that. Well, you certainly have your calendar filled.
Yes, ma'am.
And with that being said, DeAnna, with everything that you've accomplished and, you know, having this title, Miss Georgia USA, a lot of women would never have that title, you know, myself included. But with that title and with this experience under your belt, what advice would you offer to any young girl that aspires to do a pageant?
Ooh. I would go back to what the hardest part, I think, is just be authentic. Don't feel like you have to say a certain thing, to do a certain thing, to dress a certain way, or do your hair or your makeup in a certain way. Do what is genuinely you. Discover yourself and then love that. That would probably be my advice, because I do see so often. How many times have you watched the Miss USA pageant, and there was a girl on the stage who she was beautiful, but then after the pageant, you like looked her up on social media, and she completely changed her look. She was a lot more. I know so many girls who I loved on stage, but they didn't make the cut. But then I saw them like a year or two later, and they had changed their style. They were either edgy or super hippie, and they had gone with that, but they felt like they couldn't do that at the pageant because that's not pageant typical. And I'm like, man, I really wish that you would have, you know, just gone full out and done your thing and not felt like you had to stay in like the pageant lane. Yeah. So I would say don't get in the pageant lane unless that's your lane. Then you go there. But just be yourself. I mean, that's so generic, but it's so true and relevant.
Absolutely. All right, you guys, Miss Georgia USA, DeAnna Johnson. DeAnna, let everyone know how they can reach out to you and connect.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm very, very active on Instagram. I'm not very active on the other one. So you can you can follow the Miss Georgia account at Miss Georgia USA, or you can go to my personal account at DeAnna Johnson 23.
Awesome sauce. Well, DeAnna, I see many, many more great things that you're going to accomplish in this life, and I appreciate you for just being yourself, being your authentic self, celebrating that, because you will continue to inspire other people. And that will definitely make a difference in the world at the end of the day. So we thank you for that. We applaud you on that. And who knows? I'm going to connect with you afterwards, because I definitely want to hear more about the Georgia Cares, July 22nd. So I'm definitely going to hit you up about that. But I appreciate each and every one of you guys for downloading the show. Yes, we are well over 250,000 listens worldwide. I appreciate that so very much. All the shares, all the likes, everything that you guys have been doing, it makes a difference. And I love you, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you for it. So keep in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, you look them square in the face and tell them, don't believe me, just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. Because that's what we're doing this for. We're doing this for the history books, all right? Social media is nice, it's cool, it's fun. But real life is so much better. I will talk to you guys later. Deuces.